Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappel, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Welcome back, awesome ones. It's so great to have you here with me for another episode. Woohoo! Thank you so much for all the feedback and the downloads. You guys are so freaking awesome and just encourage me all the time to keep going. Isn't that cool when you just encourage like that? And I'm so stoked about today's guest because she's a hoot and so incredibly courageous. Now, after nearly a decade of leading CEOs, executives, and business owners, sounds like the Suits. Anyone from Meghan Markle? Oh, I don't know. In live networking events, most members being men. Our guest decided to create an easy way for women in business to connect. Now, we like that one. Yes, please. She spent nearly all of 2017 studying how to grow an online business and how to have an international product. Her networking business opened with 4 guests in November 2017, then 8 in December, and grew steadily to 40 by March in 2018. This is her 3rd company, and she's currently an executive in another company. She's a proud mother of 5. Sorry, can I just repeat that again? She's a proud mother of 5. Hallelujah. And 3 adorable granddaughters. No, stop, preach. She runs, rides her horse, and loves holding her sweetheart's hand as often as she can. She's been married to a high school sweetheart for nearly 30 years. Booyah! More than anything, loves snuggling right up to that guy after a long, hard day. Her big dream, to grow her networking business to 250 members in 2018. I think that's achievable. And then 500 in 2019. And then go on their first ever networking service expedition to serve, to help, and to change lives to those we help and of ourselves. Now, please, put your hands together and let's give our next guest a super warm welcome. Here she is, the one, the only, Shelly Yorgesen. Hello, Shelly.
Oh my gosh, you are a riot. Oh, Sashka, I'm so good. So good. Thank you for having me. And that raging welcome was pretty intense. I don't know how to come after that.
Well, that's good because it's really early where you are at the moment right now. So it's good to start it off with lots of laughing. We like that energy in the day. Yes, please. Share with me, share with us what your big discoveries were, or while studying about online businesses that made you decide to start your networking online community, the Veranda.
Thank you. I think my big discovery, Sashka, is that I was saying your name right.
Perfect.
With your lovely accent. We just don't do that well here in the U.S. So
that's fine. In the U.S. it's Sashka, and in South Africa it's Sashka.
Sashka. Which do you prefer? I want to do it right.
I don't care.
I'll go with Sashka. That sounds lovely. What did I discover? I discovered that every business needs to have an online component. There is no reason, whatever you're doing, you've got to dig in your heels and you've got to think, what can I take outside my demographics? There is no reason that we need to be bound to where we live anymore with the abilities and capabilities of online marketing and the internet. We truly can connect and run a business in any industry that has an online component. So I don't care if you're a hairdresser or a manufacturing company, everything that you do, there's got to be a way, even if you're, especially if you're a lawyer or a doctor or something, there's got to be something that you can rethink, reformulate, purpose, your business, your skill set to be in an online experience in some way. It doesn't have to be everything you do, but there should be a component to that. That was what my big discovery, probably.
I love that. And two questions popped up. So are there dangers in that? Dangers as in the second question is when you go online, and this is kind of something that I was thinking about a few times, is that when you're online, you're just meeting people. It's like you're on holiday. Well, I find it, I'm on holiday. I'm going on Facebook into my office. Yay! I'm going to go meet my fella. Let's have a margarita. Yay! And you have such a good time. And it's not that I'm not able to communicate with those offline. It's that the interests are so far detached from what's happening online. And it's moving so fast. And it's less, I don't know, I think because the constant for me is change. I don't know. What do you think? Are there dangers in all of us being online? And how does it tie in with a veranda?
Are there dangers with us being online? I think there's dangers in not. I think it's the way business needs to roll, from here going forward, because I feel like the big businesses and big industries will squash you if you don't move forward and keep up with the times. I mean, think what Amazon has done to poor Walmart. Now Walmart's trying to offer a product just like Amazon. And if you're hesitant to go online, I feel like number one, it's not as scary as you think. I suddenly opening the Veranda, which is an international networking experience for women in business. And, I now have you, a friend in Austria that I've never met before. I now have members and friends in Australia that I love dearly, and yet they're an entire planet away from me. However, we interact, we do business, we grow things together, that had we not reached out, had we not been a little brave, I would have really missed out on that. I would have missed out on an opportunity. And when you take a step forward, when you're brave and you move forward in a way that you maybe hadn't thought possible before, just like everything, doors open for you that you never even knew existed. So I think that there's a danger in not exploring it, honestly. We have to open our minds to the possibility of expanding beyond our comfort zone and beyond our demographics.
Yeah, that's so true. How did you find marketing yourself online? Because you've been in business, it's the third business. So what were you able to take with you from the past that you knew, okay, this is where I'm starting. I'm not starting with this first because it wasn't that it's a mistake. It was just, it slowed me down. Because you're starting off with 4. I mean, it could have been like your best friend and mom being in there like it mostly is, or maybe even not, when you start off. Now it's at 40 and plus. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Thank you. Okay, so everything you do, you think is silly and small when you start. And yes, I had 4 women in business that I'd met at a conference in LA. And I was like, I need some guinea pigs. I want to open this business and I want to try this. And so will you come and let me experiment with the tools that I've been putting together to try this out? And so the idea is that we bring women in business together monthly for an experience of connecting. Like, what is your business? What's broken? What's busted? And then we provide time to problem solve and mastermind in a really personal way on the stuff that's broken for you that month. And so I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, this is silly to try this with 4. And how am I possibly going to get to where I want to go? But then it worked. And they saw great success. And one was a lawyer from Seattle. One was a doctor from LA. One was a salary coach from, where's she at? Back east in the eastern United States. And then another one from, me. I was 4. Like, who's number 4?
It's me,
anyway,
it's me.
So it's a very diverse group, right? And so, actually, no, I was the 5th one. There was one from Australia online as well, and she's a home builder. She builds homes in Australia.
Cool.
And so we pulling all of our expertise, just problem solved on what was going on with each other's businesses. And then it worked so well that the lawyer, in fact, she's like, I have got to open this up to my industry. Like, would you be willing to come into my world and help lawyers connect and problem solve on their businesses. And so it's just like springboards. Once you try something, like stuff happens. It always does. I can't remember if I'm answering your question. Let's go back to your question.
Doesn't matter. You answered it. That's good. What were your big stumbling blocks to getting things up and running? Like, where did you start? Everything.
Everything was a stumbling block. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've never ever considered myself a techie person. And so I don't know if I was slightly techie, but not to this extent. So what do you have to do to have an online business? Well, first of all, you have to attract a customer, right? So how do you attract a customer? Well, you have to be able to talk to them. How do you talk to them? Okay, well, I chose Facebook for advertising. So Facebook advertising became a gigantic learning curve, right? It's a beast. It's living. It changes every 4 minutes, and you have to keep up with it, right? The next thing is, okay, now I have to advertise on Facebook. I have to have somewhere for our people to click and go to register. Okay, so that's some sort of a landing page system, right? So that became ClickFunnels, was the one that I chose. Oh my gosh, talk about a rabbit hole. Like, that was a learning curve. Like, we've got to learn that. Okay, so now we need to be able to email our people and talk to them. Okay, well, that became a CRM tool, which is Infusionsoft, which, oh my gosh, it's just like one thing after another. And honestly, you feel like you're doing like this tech drowning experience. And I remember my head hurting and my heart hurting and feeling like I really would never get through the learning curve. But guess what? I did. And now what was hard then is easy now. And there's new things to learn. But I think the one thing that we have to understand is why we're doing things.
Yeah.
And because you're going to get hit by a bunch of crap whenever you're starting something new that you think you cannot get through. And so you always have to go back, okay, why am I doing this? Why in the heck am I trying to learn all of these tools? Am I trying to talk to women in countries that I don't know at all? I don't know what they do. I don't know I just feel driven to connect women in business. So that being, and knowing that I do have the ability, I do have the skill set to connect and to bring executive decision makers together, because I've been doing it for almost 10 years in a live event way at a very high end level. I know I can do this. And now, and I quote this, one of my new members from Australia all the time. She's like, Shelly, I don't know if you understand this, but for an Australian business woman to break into an American market is a dream of a lifetime. And honestly, oh my gosh, it's going to bring me to tears again. Like, I didn't know that, Sashka. I didn't know that I was starting the Veranda for a woman in West Australia to connect with women in business in America, and that it would be a lifelong dream for her. I just thought, I'm going to take what I'm freaking good at, connecting people, and give them an opportunity to do so. And when she told me that, I thought, I'm so happy to give this to you. I'm so happy that what I have built, what I am good at, can bless your life. So let me tell you what she is. She wrote a book and she couldn't get it published. And so what'd she do? She did what all the other cool, amazing people on the Veranda do. She opened her own publishing house.
That is incredible. Good on her.
Right. Oh, like, look at that. Like, I'm like, well, yeah. So I can't get my book published, so I'm just going to open my own publishing house. So she opened her own publishing house in 2017 with a goal in 2018 to publish 100 books. And when we met through Facebook ads, she had published 54 books in April already in 2018. Wow. So she is well on her way to meeting her goal. Now, what can I do to help her? I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. We are talking about doing a Veranda empowering women retreat at a castle in Western Australia now. Cool. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like little nuggets, little stories like that. When you decide to move your dream into a bigger way, when you decide to take your personal skill set, like you have done with your podcasting and all that you're up to, when you decide to take it online, it blesses lives.
Mm.
And that's what brought all these tears that are flowing down my face.
Because it's so important. There's one of the lessons that I've learned is, especially when I'm moving through the different phases, like right in the beginning, you are just overwhelmed, like we all are, because there's just so much to learn, whether it's online, offline. It's not just, in inverted commas, opening a business, because that's the easy part. You just go to the Chamber of Commerce. This is what I want. Register it. Boom. You have a business. And then it's actually running the business. And one of the most important lessons I've learned for myself, it's not so much what you know, but who you know. And collaborations and networking and events and workshops, without these, by shying away from them, you standing in your own way, like the members of the Veranda, where if you're not able to open up to someone else, how is your soul group or soul client going to want to open up to you? And you never know who's going to know someone else. I know for myself, I've been looking for ages, but I'm over exaggerating. I've been looking since last year when I self-published my book, and I got it out there because I have a saying, done is better than perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been looking at publishing houses, and I spoke to Hay House and Balboa Publishing, and it's so complicated. And I'm like, why must you make it so complicated? So putting into my path, I'm looking for a publishing house. So I spoke to someone again today, and now you're mentioning someone again, and I'm going, I think I'm on the right track. So one of these doors are going to open, and you never know who it's going to be. It's the intention putting it out there. If you don't put the intention out, you're not going to meet anyone, and nothing's going to come of it, right?
Oh, is spot on there. Yeah. There's this beautiful saying that I love that's, you're the same person today in 5 years, except for two things. It's the people that you meet and the books that you read.
Wow. Goosebumps.
Yeah. So you have to change. Like if you are seeking change, you have to add to your network. You have to change who you know. Like, I'm not saying you should divorce your old friends. Like if you're wanting to change, if you're wanting to up your income, if you're wanting to open a business, keep all the friends that you have right now, but you've got to add to the pack. Yeah. Like the people that you add to your world are going to get you where you're trying to go. Yeah. So you have to do something. And my experience started with a live networking experience, knowing those people 10 times my income. Like that's how much it changed my life. So you have to know people to change stuff. Mm-hmm. And the Veranda is an easy way to do that. In fact, Sashka, last week, there's two things that are funny. One is, this one's not as funny as the second one. I'll warm you up. The first one is, one of my members said, you know what the Veranda is? The Veranda is a networking experience for introverts. Mm. And I thought, wow, what? Like, she's a copywriter out of Minnesota. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? She goes, I am a writer. I don't do well with people. They scare me. I don't like networking events because I don't know who. She goes, okay, go back to this 4th grade moment when I don't know who I'm going to sit with at lunch. Like, I'm nervous. Mm. And she goes, being on the Veranda doesn't feel that way. I am at my computer where I'm comfortable. I don't have to leave my home office. I don't have a plane ticket. I don't have to buy lunch. All I have to do is come and talk about my business and try and help other people with their businesses. She goes, it's the perfect introvert networking experience. Cool. And I thought that was so good. Now, the funny part is another member came to me and she goes, you know what the Veranda is? And I said, what? She goes, it's an international networking experience. So you don't even have to wear pants.
I can get that one. Definitely sitting with slippers on or nothing. Yeah. The bottom half is covered, people. Not a problem. Yes. But now something that you were talking about now, and
so funny. Yes.
It got me thinking, is that how do you deal with it or encourage the people on the Veranda or businesses that you work with? Because the more people that you get to know, in addition to your family and your friends, you're growing more and more. That means you may be empathic, which means that your energy is being exposed to more and more people and not knowing how to control that energy, because the more people that you meet, you want to give more. but there's only so much that you can give and only so many hours in a day. Do you teach or do you encourage those that are in networking and on the veranda how to manage their energy and their time when meeting so many people? Like, you're allowed to say no, or do you have like some kind of tips or something? Because you can get a bit overwhelmed with meeting so many people.
I love that. I spoke over the weekend at a conference, and I was quoting a podcast from Russell Brunson, and I just loved it. And you're going to have to go on this ride with me a little bit. This is a little confusing. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay. So to answer your question, the problem with entrepreneurs is we learn too much. Is we learn so much, it's hard to act on everything we learn. It's hard to do everything that we are trying to do, right? So in managing the energy and managing all of that, adding to your network should help you with the problem. And this is how. So it's not the how, it's the who. Like, we're constantly thinking of, okay, I learned all this. How am I going to manage this? How am I going to get this done? It's not the how in it. It's the who that you're meeting that matters, because the who is going to get your how done.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because we are constantly like, okay, fine. I'm learning all of these things. I'm listening to all these podcasts. Okay, now we get stuck in the minutia of the how. And we have to stop that as entrepreneurs. We have to think of who. Who am I meeting that can help me get this how done? Because the who is going to help me with my what, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now this is where it gets really confusing.
All right.
Okay, ready? It's the why that helps your who get your what done.
That's right. Because
if the people that you're meeting, the people that you're networking believe in why you're doing what you're doing, they're going to help you with the what, and your how is going to be taken care of by the who. Are you following me? Like, it's just like I said before, growing your network should ease your burden, because you've got to be able to pass stuff off to these new people that you meet. You don't, it shouldn't be an energy draw. It should be an energy add. Because guess what? Now I have a copywriter writing my emails, right? And I didn't know a copywriter before that. Now I have, and how do you finance that if you're a startup? It's with your why. It's your why that inspires these new people. If you don't have the cash to pay for them, because startups are expensive, right? We bootstrap it, to death while we're getting these things off the ground. So we talk about the people, okay, here's why I'm doing this. Can you help me do this? Now, of course, we should pay people what they're worth. Always, always, always pay them what they're worth. But a lot of times, people will believe in your cause so much that they will help you get your dream out there. But first, you have to know who they are.
Yeah.
And the fun part is, Saskia, is wondering who that person is and just letting the wait happen. Like sometimes, you're like, here, I need a publisher. Now you've had, 3 conversations about what randomness that I would even bring that up on this interview today. I didn't know you needed that, at all.
Exactly.
So there's a moment of wonder where you're like, okay, here's what I need. Who can help me, and how am I going to meet them? So I hope that answered your question. That shouldn't be an energy draw. It should be an energy add, because now you should never do anything all by yourself. It takes a team.
I love it.
Let us help you. Let us build this robust team around you that we can access each other's gifts and help each other grow our businesses. That's the support we as women need. Connecting women changes things. Oops, says my internet's unstable. Can you hear me still?
Yeah. No worries.
Okay. All right. I hope that answered your question, Saskia.
It does. And it's also from, this is how many years I'm going back now? 25 years. And even before that, Faith Popcorn, who had the whole thing with all the different trends, and it was cocooning, and how we're always within our homes and surrounding and staying around. But this cocooning is now in our homes, but we're not desocializing. We're creating our villages internationally through internet so that we're not alone, because the villages aren't necessarily live or in real person with us, but also extended. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. Right. We're coming to the end. God, it goes too quick.
Super fast.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Half an hour is just like a blip. I would love to know from you how you would like to change or challenge the world doing what you do.
So, in leading these live executive networking experiences like you mentioned, I love these people dearly. The groups are about 90% male. And so I thought, where in the world are the ladies? Where are the women like me and the other few women in the room? Where are they? And so how I would like to change the world is I want to connect them. I want to find you as businesswomen. I want to provide a platform for you to come to a place that's, number one, easy, that's comfortable, that's available to fit in your crazy schedule as moms, as grandmas, as business owners, as wives, as everything we are, that our life outside the office never stops. And so providing an easy situation for women to connect, to problem solve, to mastermind, that's inexpensive, that's available, that's easy. That's how connecting these women and their brain power and their talents and growing each other's businesses, right? Because a rising tide raises all ships, right? So what if we rose the tide? What if we connected women that built business and provided for their families? So many of my members of the Veranda are single moms. Wow. And they're growing a business. And now they're talking to this isn't only single moms, but now they're talking to other people like, how are you doing this? How do you handle business? How do you handle this problem or that problem? And if you can solve one problem every single month on the Veranda by presenting it to other female business owners, solving one problem a month, like, what is that worth to you? Like, oh my gosh, so 12 problems a year, right? 24 huge problems in 2 years. And then the connections that you built in doing so, that Sashka is life-changing.
Yeah. That's so
feeling that support, feeling that connection.
I love that. All right. I'd love for you to fill in the blanks for 3 of my values, my core values, and what they mean to you. So creativity for you is?
Creativity for me is opportunity, probably. Creating opportunity. We're now employing people that didn't have opportunity, didn't have work because of an idea that we have. So I say creativity is opportunity. Also opportunity for your future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Passion for you is?
Passion is, I love that moment of wonder. Like, who am I going to meet? How is it going to change me? How am I going to change them? That moment of wonder, that there's a lot of passion in that for me. Like, how can I help them?
Yeah.
How can I help them change their business, grow their business? How can I help? By connecting to people that didn't know each other. I love that. There's a lot of passion in that for me.
Wisdom for you is?
Oh, man. I would say after the battle of the learning curve, wisdom is patience.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Wisdom is patience in yourself. Like, you're going to hit, if you're going to take my challenge and create an online opportunity out of your current world, you've got to be patient with your learning. And you've got to be patient with the Lord. Like, he's going to open doors for you that you didn't know, but you got to wait. Like, it happens slow but always with a reason. So I think there's a lot of wisdom and patience, and your head's going to hurt and your heart's going to cry. Like, just know it's going to be crappy for a minute. And then it gets better. It gets so better.
Yeah, that's so true. Shelly, thank you so much for being with us here on the podcast today. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. And all our listeners, you can read more about Shelly on social media and where you can find her. The Veranda Network will also put the link to the website, her favorite book, her favorite quote, and just to get involved and to actually put yourself out there and not stand in your way. And I love the idea, whether you're introvert, extrovert, it doesn't really matter. It's not what you always know, it's who you know. And working with the who, why, what, when.
Yeah, that was a little nuts. I hope I didn't lose you right there.
No, it's good. I love it. It's in simple terms, and I love analogies. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Such a pleasure to connect Idaho with Austria. Like, who knew we could do such cool stuff? So
who knew? Exactly.
Who knew?
So awesome. And I look forward to being on the veranda myself. I have been to one meeting. It was just a bit late, and then I kind of lost track. So I'm looking forward to being there as well and meet some.
Thrilled to have you, dear.
Awesome. All right, then, guys, have an awesome week, and I'll see you again next week. Looking forward to it. Remember to go higher, deeper, wider, be fast and furious, and keep moving and shaking in the world. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.